On this episode of The Road Chose Me, I'm exploring the stunning backroads and mountain passes of the Kingdom in the Sky, Lesotho. From the minute we drive into Lesotho, we sense it's entirely different than South Africa, which completely contains it. It is actually a separate country, and we get a stamp in our passports confirming as much. We pass through the capital of Maseru, where we see tons of smiling and friendly people, before we venture deep into the heart of the country, aiming for Semenkong. You can see the road here is absolutely brilliant. It's been pushed right through the mountains, and the paved surface is brand new. I never got to the bottom of who built this road or why, though I suspect mining must be the reason. For hour after hour we push on, up and over more mountain passes than I can count. On more than a couple the Jeep is down to first gear, and on the downhill slopes I can smell the brakes, even though I'm in first gear on the way down. These mountain passes are absolutely huge. In Semenkong, it's only a short walk through a local village to the nearby enormous waterfall. By some counts, this is Africa's largest single drop fall, and it is simply breathtaking. The canyon here is so big, it's hard to get a sense of scale. To get a better view, we hike all the way to the bottom and swim in the pools, and then the following day, we walk along the river until we're at the top of the falls, where I again try to stick my toes over the edge. I don't get too close on this one. Here I am driving out of the town of Semenkong itself. It's a local hub where lots of different farmers and local herders come to party and relax. You can see how many people still get around on horseback here. It's such a simple way of life. With their rock and mud hut buildings and straw roofs, people are so content. They have so little by our standards, but they're also so happy. Everybody smiles all of the time. Immediately, I feel very welcome in this country, and I know I'll be safe camping out and exploring wherever I want to go. The mountainsides of Lesotho are covered in small farms, and this ploughing with ox is a really common sight. It seems everybody's getting ready for the coming planting season. We move south until we're really close with the border of South Africa, and we find a town to resupply on gas, food, and water. From here, we strike out east, basically paralleling the border at all times less than a mile away, and sometimes less than 100 yards away from South Africa. In the tradition of the world, the border mostly follows the peaks of the biggest mountains, which means our road is glued right to the side of those mountains. The scenery is absolutely breathtaking, and we have no trouble at all finding little out-of-the-way places to wild camp each and every night. The sunsets at night are stunning. There are hardly any vehicles around at all, and we certainly don't see any tourists as we explore deeper and deeper into the mountains for days on end. We pass up and over one of the most remote mountain passes in my life. If you look in the background here, you can see the switchbacks we've just worked our way up. Virtually all of that was low range first and second gear, with a couple of the corners being seriously tight hairpins. The clouds come and go with the wind, making the view all the more impressive. On the far side, we drop some elevation before finding this wonderful camp on the side of a little flowing river. We have a fire to cook on at night, and quite a few locals wander past on the road. They're all really friendly and wave, but none of them have any interest in coming over to chat. I think they think we're a bit strange. The Jeep has absolutely no problem exploring anywhere we want to go. It's so fantastic to have our house with us and just know that wherever we get to that day will be again our campsite for the night. We're not limited by anything. We have all the food, water and gas that we need, so we spend a week out here doing this, just exploring, just looking around. We spot a great looking campsite on the side of a small river. Unfortunately, it's on the other side, so we just drive right across. There's a few bigger boulders under the water, so I do take it easy, but of course the Jeep has no problem at all. Was the campsite worth it? I think it was. It feels like the mountains in this country are simply endless. Around every curve, we spot ever-increasing peaks, huge valleys, and massive rivers down at the bottom. They do get snow here, and I'm a bit excited when we see the sign for the ski resort, although unfortunately it is the wrong season. Maybe I'll have to come back someday. No visit to Lesotho would be complete without driving the world-famous Sani Pass. This is one of the mountain passes that links Lesotho in South Africa and basically goes straight up a series of very steep hairpins. When there's no snow and ice, it's not so bad and you hardly even need four-wheel drive, but I have heard stories of it being a sheet of pure ice and seriously dangerous. It's funny to see all of the history of the pass when the first vehicle to ever drive it was of course a Jeep. Here we are descending and you can see the weather is horrendous. Visibility was not far at all and it was always tricky to judge if there were cars coming up before I had to swing wide on each hairpin. These views really aren't doing it for me. Maybe we'll just have to come back and check out the Sani Pass on a sunny day. I suspect we will. I'll leave you now with uninterrupted views of descending Sani Pass in the thick fog. Oh, and we loved Lesotho so much, we came back 5 separate times. This country is amazing. Make sure you check it out.